para sa kape! Woo! After work edition.
Today we're gonna share a mic kasi may nakalimot.
Nakalimot ng...
Gamit niya. Ako yun.
Ito, close kami today. Ganito
Close
kami,
kami today.
ganito kami mag-uusap today. So, what are we gonna talk about
Today
in
we're
this
gonna
podcast?
talk about attachment styles and abuse.
Is it
Medyo connected.
quite connected? In a sense
I would
na...
say-
sige.
Kung hindi okay yung attachment style mo, it can lead to abuse.
That's true.
And different kinds of abuse. Kasi hindi lang isa.
Mm-mm. Have you encountered that?
I mean, I've encountered it in work and also, of course, private interpersonal relationships.
Okay, so siguro meron tayong
And I guess you have also.
trigger warning.
Trigger
Kasi
warning
merong-
abuse.
May mga abuse that are so small that you don't really know that they're abuse already.
Oo naman.
Diba? And abuse isn't always physical.
Oo naman.
And that's what most girls or most women or maybe most men, some actually go through abuse. Some men actually go through that, diba? Pero biologically speaking, I would say na parang external kasi si abuse parang aside from meron siyang parang pinoproject mo sa tao na fear mo or that's how you get angry. It's basically getting angry with a partner.
And
Diba?
abuse?
Like, yung ganong part. May part na ganon. And biologically speaking, mas outright or mas worse yung naggagawa ng mga guys because there's testosterone there. I
Diba? wouldn't excuse that. I'd say, okay.
That's not an excuse. That's just me saying that it's factual that most guys would be mostly guys who are reported to do the abuse.
Physically abused.
To physically abuse.
I mean-
Emotionally wise, syempre ibang ballgame.
So, I guess I'll just enumerate first the kinds of abuse according to the VAWC Law, which is the Violence Against Women and Children Law.
Violence against
Women and children.
And children.
I'll give you the context of the law. May nag-propose ng VAWC Law sa Congress, which was weirdly, asawa ni Erap,
Oh.
who's a psychologist, si
Which would make...
Loy Ejercito. Yeah, siya yung proponent of the law, and then now it's a law.
Mm.
So, okay, back to the law. The VAWC Law protects against physical abuse, which I think most people are aware of, emotional abuse, stalking even,
Okay.
psychological abuse. Yun yung parang when someone cheats, yun yung ginagamit nila. Financial abuse.
Mm.
So, let's say may pera ka pero ayaw mo na suportahan yung nabuntis mo. And what I like about the VAWC Law is it doesn't just protect wives. If you've had a dating relationship, you're covered from it.
Okay.
So, let's say, hindi mo pwedeng stalk kahit nag-date lang kayo because usually that's the problem, diba?
Ibig mo sabihin, when was this law passed?
I'm not,
You don't know. So,
Ah.
before pandemic or after?
Oh, before pandemic.
Before pandemic pa.
Matagal na.
I mean, honestly, even if you encounter this, no, parang I don't think a lot of people are aware of this law. Even women, like,
And what I like about this, skewed yung law in favor of women.
I mean,
It does not protect men.
Okay.
So if you stalk men,
Okay pa.
you're fine.
Stop doing that! That's not nice!
Pag binugbog mo yung lalaki, you're okay.
Oh my God. Stress ako.
Sorry. Anyway,
Hindi tama yun, Kriela. What the heck?
sorry, man-hater. Okay, kaya nyo na yan, guys. Let's say, mag-asawa tayo, ako yung lalaki. Binugbog kita. So, you can go to the barangay, to your nearest barangay and say, binugbog ako, I need a protection order. And this is a temporary protection order. Usually, no questions asked. Poprotektahan ka nila. Ang gagawin nila is they'll give you your domicile. So, yung bahay nyo. Papaalisin nila yung lalaki. No questions asked until there's a hearing. And then sa hearing, you present your evidence, ganyan. Hanggang maging permanent protection order na siya. Or parang restraining order sa states. Or if you were not able to prove it, denied o di back to whatever.
I guess even when it comes to parang children, ganyan. Di ba parang papaano pag sinabi na sa'yo ng bata na, Diba? Parang there was something that made them uncomfortable. And it was a person who was close to them. So this is kind of a trigger warning, diba? May nagdaglagay naman.
Nag-trigger warning na tayo.
Nag-trigger warning naman kami. Pero parang, what if there were people there, like si police, sila lawyers, like yung mga social workers are thinking about the system and whatnot. And no one was really listening to that child. So parang, paano yung naka-experience ng abuse? Like, are you just not letting, like, wala bang value yung testimony nila? Wala bang value yung mga words? Parang, ako kasi as a psych, when I listen to it, I see more of it as yung person experience. It sometimes slips out of my mind that there are actually systems around abuse also. So, which is interesting to me na I'm listening to you about that.
Actually, there are special rules for child witnesses. So, as much as possible, you protect them. Hindi mo sila papaharapin in court because it's very traumatizing to them. So, at best, you get the judge to talk to them in a private room lang, and tatawin mo lang ng non-threatening questions. But the testimonies of children are put on higher regard than regular testimony ng like you and me. Kasi they're supposed to be innocent, hindi sila nagsisinungaling.
Oo naman.
So, I've handled a lot of rape cases na ang testimony lang yung sa bata. Because usually,
that holds a lot of value.
No one rapes in broad daylight. I mean, there are people who rape in broad daylight, but by the nature of the crime, you don't do it in public where people can see you. So talagang very common yung isa lang yung magte-testify kasi I mean, of course, there are cases na may mga nanonood, and that's more horrible. But even those people na nanonood would be accomplices to the crime or accessories to the crime. So it's worse for them.
Ang bigat, no? Nakakaloka. But anyway,
so sige, wag na tayo sa children abuse. Doon tayo sa
sa usual abuse. In relationships, maybe.
Okay, sige. In relationships. So, what's financial abuse first?
Oh, sige.
Okay. Financial abuse is pretty clear-cut.
Joke. Hindi, kapag hindi mo nga pala, yun nga pala yung sabi mo na
kapag hindi mo fina-fund. Usually, ito yung pag may common child kayo. Kasi very difficult here. Wala masyadong dito child support laws.
Wala.
Sa ibang bansa kasi, diretso yun sa pay slip mo. They remove it diretso dun sa nanay. Or, like, if you don't pay child support, sobrang sasama yung credit mo that you can't apply for anything else. Dito, kailangan pa na rin sa court para lang magbayad. Tapos, kailangan mo i-prove na may trabaho yung guy.
Parang ang hirap maging mahirap dito sa Pilipinas.
Ang hirap mabuntis dito sa Pilipinas.
Ang hirap everything in the Philippines, basically.
Yeah. So, they made this law basically para hindi makatakas yung lalaki. Like, hindi niya biglang sabihin na, ayoko na yan. Hindi akin yan. Bye. So, you can file a case for financial abuse and then the guy will usually say, wala akong trabaho. Mahirap lang for the girl kasi kailangan mo i-prove na may trabaho talaga yung lalaki.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, parang, do women actually win in cases like this?
Usually, yes, because for this law specifically, it's very in favor of the women. Okay. There's a presumption na walang mag-file ng abuse kung hindi ka abused. Physical kasi is pretty clear-cut.
Yeah. Straightforward, it's physical abuse.
It's not that straightforward.
I mean, you know that it's physical abuse.
Like, a slap and suntok would be physical abuse, but what if natulak ka? Accidentally. Natulak ka.
Nabato ka.
Yes. Or like, lasing ka, tapos gumanong ka, tinamaan ka. Is that abuse?
Or parang from when you're doing something together, intimate, and then you say na parang medyo dominant yung tapos parang naging straight na parang, hindi na to.
Okay. Yeah, and then the guy would say, did you say no? Like,
you did not say
diba?
no. I thought you liked it.
I thought you liked it. We agreed beforehand that you liked it, and then may ganon.
I think physical abuse is the more, I wouldn't say famous, but more
common.
Or commonly shared, I guess.
Well, yes, kasi you can't hide it.
Siya yung may results. Siya yung nakikita mo kaagad.
If they hit you in the face. Pero if they, like, ang sama pakinggan, but better abusers would know not to hit in the face. Or anywhere you can see. So
if you are a habitual abuser, I guess.
You will know where to hit a woman. I know.
That's so sad. Parang, nakakagalit siya, actually.
Nakagalit siya talaga. And, sorry, back to being abused. Not physically. Well, physical abuse ba ang rape?
I guess, it falls
Oo.
under that. Kasi,
So,
it's physical restraint.
may bata akong na-handle na nalaman lang na inaabuso siya kasi nabuntis siya finally by her stepfather. So the mother knew the whole time. And even tried to hide them. So, hindi lang isang kaso yung nahawakan kong ganito.
Iiyak ako.
Imaginein mo naman, na binasa ko yung testimony nung bata and her, like everything. And then, the guy saying na, nabuntis lang siya nung dyan, whatever.
Meron kasi
And this is like 12-year-old kids.
that happens nga. I mean, I've also encountered those things na parang because they have lower IQ, they were diagnosed with an intellectual disability, or they're just, they have poor social judgment, or parang,
For judgment period.
wala silang, like, fair on judgment, and it's a neuro thing. Hindi naman siya talaga, they just wanted that to happen. Pero nagkakaroon din na parang, oh, this person said he likes me. So, it's okay that he does this to me. Rape na. So, parang, from start, na naging rape, and then, nag-convince siya na,
Yan yung mga question, like, accidentally natulak ka because you're drunk, is that abuse? Siyempre, ipoprove mo yan sa court na what the court looks at is intent. Did the person have an intention to hurt you? Like, let's say, okay, hindi niya inintend na tamaan ka, pero mga 5 times ka na niya accidentally tinamaan. Habitual na yun na parang, hindi na yan accident kasi 5 times na siya nangyari.
I guess, parang, ako kasi hindi ko masyadong, yun nga, the things that I hear about abuse is mostly parang, marami ako naririnig with the victim na they don't really see them, parang, instead of seeing themselves as victim, parang sila pa yung, hindi, kasalanan ko to Kasalanan ko to.
Kasi may halong gaslighting ang abuse.
And gaslighting is a manipulative tactic for abuse talaga. And aside from cognitive dissonance, whatnot.
Meron sa batas na battered woman syndrome. It's defined in our law. So, merong yan, tension building phase. That's pag nag-aaway na kayo. Cute battering stage, yung binubugbog ka na. And then a tender loving stage, yung nagsusorry ka, magpapakabait na ako, ganyan.
This is where? Interesting.
That's a cycle of violence. And if you look at that, that's usually how people are abused. Na parang, hindi naman yan bugbog everyday. Like, when someone hits you, and they tell you they love you, the sweetest they will be is right after they hurt you.
Nakakaano siya, kasi parang, sorry.
Natitrigger ka ba?
No, hindi ako natitrigger. But, the way that it is so operationalized makes me think of how many people have been abused and what is the reason for the abuser to abuse a person. Like, gets mo ba? Parang, instead of just, I mean, I know that you see this like in your work, na parang, this is the way to help the abuse. Yung mga na-abuse, na parang, ito yung mga ways. Or parang nakikita mo how it happens.
You want to see the reason.
I want to see the reason. Bakit, di ba, parang, why, parang ako kasi as a person, I have this philosophy that all people are inherently good, but it's the environment that makes them. Kumbaga, put a good tree in a bad and root and parang spoiled land, it's gonna sprout nothing. Or it's gonna sprout badly. But put it in a good land, it's gonna...
Let me premise this with...
Although, wait lang. Although, inenegate ko din yun kasi may genetics din talaga ang personality.
Oo naman, yes.
So, still, I wanna believe that all people are inherently good. That's just me.
I don't believe all people are inherently good. So, yun ang premise ko. But, I think we are a product of our genetics and our environment. So, nurture and nature. Okay? So, let's say a person grows up and sees that a a caregiver nila, either the father or the mother, is being abused, they normalize this na parang, nothing wrong with that. And in their adult life, they either
Do that.
have a repulsion against it na parang, oh my God, I'll never do that. I'll be super the opposite. Or,
Do the same.
do the same because that's normal. So, I've seen this with abused kids na parang they think abuse is a form of love. So, parang let's say, they were abused as children. Like, pinapalo sila, whatever, all the... And,
Corporal punishment.
yun, corporal punishment. Tapos, paglaki nila parang, they like,
They do the same.
choking their girlfriends.
Okay. So,
Kasi I mean, that's the safest. Kasi that's a form of love for them. Gets. Meron po kasing gusto lang yun. Going to psychological abuse, the last form of abuse. Yan yung mga, well,
mahirap
ginagamit kasi nila yan for cheating eh. If your spouse cheated on you, they'll file psychological abuse. Ano nila yan?
with screenshots,
favorite.
like si Maurice tsaka si Anthony Jen. Ay.
Bakit? Kilala naman nila yun.
Okay.
May screenshots, may pictures, lahat yan. Let's say, may sex tape kayo. Or, you have a video of your intimate partner, and then, tilabas mo. And cause her psychological harm. Yun, pwede mo ipakulong. Sabihin mo psychological abuse.
Tutunan mo kasi.
Oh, it is. It really is.
May question naman ako. Meron bang alam ko kasi sa States, merong mandated yung mga psychologists na parang they need to work with parang sa mga inmates, yung mga nasa kulungan. May ganun ba dito sa Pilipinas? I'm not aware of it.
I'm not aware of any. And actually, you know, what's more pressing is yung mga sinasabi kong rape victims that are under 12. May mga 7. I think the youngest I read was 7. Wala silang psych. They don't get therapy after. And the parents even say na parang after, their children are hypersexualized. Kasi they don't know how to react to what they experience. So, 50-50 yan. How that affects you. Either you close yourself off or you just... Yes, because it's of no value to you anymore. So, yun. Parang, I guess that is... I wish there was some psych help. I mean, I'm not saying na absolutely hindi kasi I just haven't encountered any.
Actually, ako as a psychologist in training, I'm not sure if there's any. And I would actually think na parang minsan nagiging community work siya. Kasi parang free, pero hindi siya ganun ka-sustainable. Kasi anything medical here in the
Mahal.
Philippines is really expensive. Even me, na parang merong alam mo yun, I have the capacity to do that. I have to wait, may wait list to get urgent care, to get urgent help, 'di ba? Unless talagang suicide hotline. So, if you need that, may mga suicide hotlines naman. Okay, in a psych perspective.
Sasabihin ko pa naman, have you ever been abused? Pero sige, share ka muna sa psych.
Have I ever been abused?
Hindi, share ka naman ako na psych perspective.
On a psych perspective, yun nga kasi yung parang tinitignan. At least sa akin. I haven't...
Tinitingnan saan?
Sandali lang. Wait, let me gather my thoughts. Unlike you, I'm not usually parang, parang, okay, ito kasi nangyayari. Ako kasi yung parang, sandali, saan ba nanggaling to? Diba? Kaya parang nung kinukwento mo kanina yung mga kapagayan, I was like, hindi ba natin iniisip? Parang, hindi ko dinidepensahan yung mga abuser because what they're doing is bad. Pero when did they become like that?
So, mahilig ako sa true crimes. And si Bailey Sarian is someone I watch religiously. And one criticism she gets is, she gives a backstory to the serial killers. Na parang this is how they grew up. And usually, abuse din yung serial killers before they become serial killers. So, parang ang dami doon na, okay, that's why. Magigets mo. Pero kasi I'm a believer na sometimes there's no reason. And you will spend your time figuring out why when wala namang rason.
Ako, this is not a side perspective. Pero parang ako kasi, I mean, wala naman ako in the right, like, hindi ako almighty to put judgment on them. But then again, I don't like,
Mang-judge pa rin ako.
I don't like what they're doing. It's something that they should be, okay, kung kailangan na ma-punish by law and they need to be punished by law, then that needs to happen. So anyway, in a psych perspective, ano ba sasabihin dito? Yung mga sinasabi mo kasi kanina, what I was just picturing is, ano yung na-experience ng mga victims during those things. Gets mo? Parang, let's say...
Ano yung na-experience ng mga victims?
Oo, let's say, after being abused, how long did they try to parang stay there? Na parang...
Iniisip ba natin bata? Or like, matatanda na?
Oo, ganyan. So parang let's say, if you were in an abusive relationship or you were in a relationship where there was abuse, trying to make it politically, I don't know if it's politically
I'd say
correct.
abusive relationship is politically correct.
Okay, abusive relationship, let's say, how long did you stay? Why did you stay? Parang alam mo yun, parang yun yung naiisip ko kanina. Kasi a lot of things might happen there. Diba? Manipulative tactics such as...
I would say kasi that would shift the blame into the women na parang, why did you stay so long? Or gusto mo lang malaman
Hindi,
bakit?
gusto ko nga lang malaman. Tsaka yung tactics ng mga abusers like si gaslighting, si stonewalling, si silent treatment, si cognitive, magkakaroon ng cognitive dissonance yung babae. Alam mo yung ganun yung nasa isip ko kanina, not just because biniblame ko yung babae. Hindi ko biniblame yung babae. Tinitignan ko kung ano nang nangyari dun sa babae.
Ako, I would say, it's usually
Yan.
because mahal mo eh. Isn't that like, and, okay, you fall in love with a person who wasn't your abuser. And this person loved you enough na parang, even to the point that when they started abusing you, nanalo yung love mo for them. And especially if you have very low self-esteem, you think na, baka kaya sila nagbago kasi there's something wrong with me. Nagiging internal yung blame instead of, wait lang, you're abusing me because you're an abuser. Hindi. They're abusing me because siguro nagbago ako, siguro tumaba ako, siguro masyado ako nagger.
Natitrigger ako. Ano yun? Hindi, that's what I was actually saying, na parang the blame then gets shifted inside and what's happening with them. Parang gusto ko malaman ngayon what's happening. Like, alam mo yung parang we validate their experience. Like, it's really bad, di ba? What you experience is really bad. And it's something that could happen to anyone. It happened to you. Parang, hindi, you give them a safe space to say whatever they want to say. If they want to express, they can express. If they don't want to express, because there's a bit of a shame when you're the one who's abused. And I feel like, ako at least, di ba? Parang, when I picture that, and some of my friends who experience that, there's a certain shame to it na, especially if you are a woman of high intellect. Parang sabihin mo, parang, matalino naman ako eh. Pero this happened to me. So some friends, parang, or some people would say that, na parang, hindi ito yung ako. So, your self-esteem gets lower and lower and lower. You internalize everything. You blame yourself. And so, there's a bit of a shame when you're out of it. And then, you start parang processing it. So, we talked about abuse, which is a heavy topic. So, I think, yun.
I think that's it for us.
Yes. Maybe next time we can talk about yung mga assertiveness training skills. How to talk to someone na hindi ka passive-aggressive. Second, maybe Kriela can talk about zodiac stuff.
Astrology.
I mean astrology.
Or tarot.
Oh yeah, I'd love. What if mag-episode tayo na hinuhulaan mo lang ako sa tarot?
Sige, okay.
Can't go over it, you can't go under it.
Bye!